Hey everyone, today I'm grooming my dog Beans. I try to groom her like once a month. So what I'm going to do is give her a full bath, and then I'm going to trim her tummy, and I'm going to clean up her nails and paws. So I start with her bath. I put her in the water and I start pouring the water over her, usually with a cup. And when she's pretty good and wet, I will turn the water on. And I like to check the temperature and make sure it's not too hot for my hand or too cold. I keep it off of her face because she doesn't like the water sprayed on her face. So after I get her body wet, I put on these gloves. And these gloves are extra long. They have these little rubber massagers that help set up the soap. And I use them to get her face wet. So I get the gloves wet and then I just rub her face down just to get it clean. I also like to rub her ears, and Beans really likes her ears cleaned, so I know she was enjoying this. I was getting both ears. I just put one finger in there and I scrub around, and you can see she's licking her tongue, so that means she likes it. These gloves are also really good for hair removal. Then I get this Camilla dog shampoo. I love this shampoo. It makes her smell really good and it makes her fur really soft. This has been my favorite shampoo I've used on her. So I start rubbing her back and spreading the shampoo all over. I get some on her head and just give her a real good scrubbing, and then I scrub each leg individually and make sure to get her paws and her claws because they get a lot of dirt trapped in there. These gloves are really good for getting in the nooks and crannies of her paws and her fur. They're really good at de-shedding. The fur likes to stick to the gloves. And then I rub her belly and get her belly all sudsed up and clean, and plop her back down in the water. And then I make sure to rub her behind, make sure that fur's all clean. And I just give her a good rub down, make sure she's all soaped up and that I've scrubbed every part of her. And I really think she likes this bath and this massage. I think it all feels really nice. The water's not too warm. It's just a lukewarm water. It's not too hot. Then I start to get some water on her back to start the rinsing process. And then I get the water back out. I take the gloves off so that I know the temperature of the water because I don't want to burn her and I don't want the water to be too cold. So I always have the gloves off when I'm spraying her with water. And I use this to rinse her fully. I grab this brush, which is a de-shedding brush, and start brushing her while I'm rinsing her off. And you can see it's catching extra hair. So keep doing that. And I'm just brushing and spraying, trying to get all the loose hair off. And using both sides of the brush just to make sure it's getting all the fur, and then I wash her face. I rinse her face a little bit with my hand, and I get the cup and I use that to finish rinsing her head and her face, just doing light water, and then I rinse the rest of her body with that cup. Make sure she's all rinsed off. There's no suds left on her. And here I pull the drain plug out so the water starts draining. And then I grab her little dog toothbrush and I brush her teeth, and I just inspect her teeth, make sure that there's no plaque or tartar on them, no dog food left in there. And she fights me a little bit on this, but she doesn't mind it too bad. She licks a lot when I put my finger in there, but I just rub my finger in there. She lets me, and then quick 30 seconds of brushing her teeth, and then I put the towel over her, let her shake, and then I'll use the towel to dry her while she's in the sink, trying to get all the water off of her before I put her on the ground. So I lift her up and set her down, and then I continue drying her off. She likes to lick her paws after she gets a bath, so I let her lick her paws while I rub her down, and I try to dry her back as much as I can, and I try to dry her belly. Her belly likes to collect a lot of water, and her butt. She shakes off, and now I move to the couch. I laid a sheet down, and I have this de-shedding brush that I'm using on her, and so I give her a quick brush with that and get her comfortable, make sure she understands that she's getting groomed, and then I turn on the hair dryer and start using that on her. She doesn't like the hair dryer very much. It's loud, and the wind is a little scary for her, but I make sure it's a comfortable temperature. This hair dryer has a few settings. It has 4 heat settings, so I use the lowest or the second lowest. I go between those two, just depending on how she's acting and how fast I want her hair to dry. But she doesn't mind it too bad because she lets me continue to do it, and I'm not holding her down. She's laying there. So I move her a little bit closer towards me, and I continue to brush and blow dry her. I want to get her as dry as possible before I start trimming her hair, because the wet hair can clog up the trimmer. So here I'm drying her head a little bit, which she really doesn't like wind in her ears, so she doesn't like me drying her head. And then I keep continuing to brush her and dry her, and I flip her over on her back so I can dry her tummy. She doesn't mind this too much. She relaxes a little bit right here. This is also a good time to look at her fur and decide how much I want to trim, what needs trimmed. So then I get this vacuum brush, and this also connects to the vacuum trimmer, you can see. But first I'm going to brush her, and this vacuum will suck up all the hair. So now that she's more dry, I'm going to try to vacuum up those loose hairs. And I got quite a bit of hair on her brush when I was drying and brushing. And this should get a lot of the excess. And she really doesn't mind this either. You can see it collects hair and then you push a button and it vacuums it up. So it's really handy. You don't have to give them a bath to use this. You can just use this brush anytime if they're shedding extra. You can give them a quick brush down and all the hair goes right into the vacuum part. And here I'm switching back to the trimmer. And I put a different size guard on. This comes with 4 sizes, size 3, 6, 9, and 12. I did size 6 for Beans. I wanted to cut it short, but not too short. And I start with the outside of her arm. Her hair is really feathery on that side. So I start there, and she seems to be taking it well. So I know that she's not scared of the trimmer. And she doesn't mind it. So then I continue down the side of her, more on the underside, more of her belly than on her back. But I'm just getting the long, feathery hairs. And then I get under her armpit a little bit. And just trying to get her a little bit cooler so when she's outside, her belly's just has less fur on it so she can get some wind under there. Then I start to trim her butt a little bit. And you have to go pretty slow with this trimmer because she has a lot of fur. So I'm just going with the curve of her body. I'm using that edger to go along the edge of her body to get a nice even trim. And she really enjoys this part. She likes to get trimmed. And the vacuum on this, it's not too loud. It has 3 levels. I just keep it on the lowest level. Alright, and then I moved her onto her back so I could trim her stomach easier. I start with the other leg, and you can see how it trims. The vacuum pulls the hair into the trimmer, and then it just slowly trims it. And here I am getting under her armpit on the other side, just getting that feather a little shorter so she doesn't have as much of the wing, and it's a little bit cooler for her. And then I start going down her tummy and trimming all the hair on her tummy and underneath. You can see she gets really relaxed here. She really enjoys this. And then I just keep going slow and taking my time and making sure I'm trimming all the hair that I want to get trimmed. A lot of her hair underneath is just really light and fuzzy, so it's pretty easy to cut. And I think this helps her stay cool in the summer. And it helps her stay cleaner because her belly's pretty low to the ground, so her hair picks up a lot of dirt and water and mud. So where there's big chunks of hair, you just slowly go along the edge. I was finding little black chunks on her, so this is a really good time to inspect your dog and make sure that they don't have any ticks or fleas or spots that you don't know about. But she was pretty clean. And then I shave the inside of her legs and get that hair all nice and short. Shave her little turkey leg, and I start shaving her butt more. And I'm just going along the edge of her body, so I'm following her body with the trimmer, and I go both ways because her hair grows in all directions. And I'm just trying to get it all the same length and to just flow seamlessly so it doesn't look chopped. So going both ways and continuing to just take my time, going slow. And Beans is loving this, so I can take my time and she enjoys it. Then I start on the other side. You just want to get the whole inside of the leg. And then her back. On her butt, I start at the top of the tail and go down. I don't go further up than that. I follow her hair. I follow the growth of her hair, so I start right where it starts to feather is where I start, and then everything under that I trim, going inward. And it all seems to even out pretty well. At the end, you'll see the finished result. It looks pretty even, and it gives her a little shape. And it doesn't look weird at all. It looks nice. So now I'm just being picky and making sure I'm getting all the hair cut that I want to. It does take a while, but she enjoys it, so I'm happy to pamper her. And then her tail, her tail grows into a tip, so I like to just shave the tip off and round it a little more so it's not so pointy. I think it's cuter when it's more of a round shape than a paintbrush shape. Then I'm just going over her arms one more time, and then her chest. I usually leave her upper chest alone, but everything under her I like to trim short since she is so low to the ground. Anything that grass would touch, I like to trim it just a little shorter. And just making sure everything is blending together here. And Beans is passed out right now. She loves this so much. And I love this tool. It sucks up the hair right into the trimmer, and so it's super easy to trim it. And with the guard there, you know it's all gonna be the same length, so it's not gonna look choppy as long as you just follow their body. Alright, give her a little pet. Now it's time to trim her paws. I have this little paw trimmer that I use, and it's really gentle and it's really low noise, and Beans doesn't mind it at all. She likes it too. So I'm trimming that fur that's growing in between her paws. She doesn't like it when I get deep inside her paws, like in between her paws. She doesn't really like, and when I get close to her nails, that bugs her, that vibration on her nail she doesn't like. So I try to just get the underside of her paws, but I do clean up her nails a little bit. Especially, I'm gonna trim them here in a second, so I want to make sure all the hair is out of the way and I can see them really well. So after I trim one paw, I use that vacuum and I just suck up all the hair, clean it up real quick, and then I continue on to the next paw. And you can see Beans really loves this part. She just relaxes and lets me do my thing. She loves it so much. She's so cute. Oh, and I got too close to her nail there, so she pulled away, but you can tell I'm not hurting her. She just doesn't like it when I touch her nail. What I love about these trimmers is it has a little LED light, so you can really see what you're trimming. And the battery life on these lasts forever. I've had these for a few months and the battery's still at like 95%. So I never really have to charge it. I just keep it with all her grooming tools and pull it out when I need to. And then I move on to her feet, to her bottom feet. And I clean those up while she relaxes. Doing the same thing I did on the other 2 feet, just cleaning the bottoms of them, making sure all the hair is out the way, and getting in between a little bit, just trimming those so her hair is really short on her paws. And then I just pull her over to the side for the last paw. And she doesn't mind at all. She's loving this. She's very relaxed, letting me trim her paws. She's such a good girl. Okay. And I flip her over a little more just so I can get that bulk of hair under her pad. Cool. Lay down. And then I finish up with the paws, so I vacuum that up and clean it up, and then I give her another brush, let her shake out for a second, and I'm cleaning all the fur out of the brush and just showing you that this vacuum can pick up fur really easily. And now it's time to trim her nails, and this is her least favorite part. This is her first nail, so she's being pretty good right now, letting me see her paw. And then I clip it and she freaks out. Hey. Okay. And so I decide I need to put her in my lap. And I tell her it's okay. Stop. Just be a good girl. I'm looking for a lot of white. Luckily, her nails are pretty translucent, so I can see where the tip is, where the edge is, where I need to cut. So I didn't cut all her nails because some of them were pretty short, but any of them that had a clear white tip, I made sure to just clip that part off. Her 2 middle nails stay pretty short from all the walks we go on, but some of her other 2 nails grow out a little bit, so I just trim them a little bit. keep them trimmed back. You don't want them to grow too long. And she's being a really good girl. She's letting me trim them.
Good girl. One more paw. One more paw. Hey, stop.
This last one she's not ready for, but she toughs it out.
Stop.
Kind of have to talk her through it a little bit. She's a really good girl.
Good girl.
Part of grooming your dog is
Just a little bit.
them trusting you that you're not going to hurt them, and I think it's really important. I think grooming your dog also bonds you guys because you're taking care of them. I will link all the products I used in the description if you want to check those out.
Let me see you. Come here.
And then I get her ball out, and she loves these balls. I just air them up halfway so she can bite them. But she loves to play with them. So I play with her for a little bit so I can check out her shape and see if there's anything else I need to trim. I think it looks pretty good. I like the shape of her butt and her stomach. There's no flyaways. There's no fur sticking out that I want to trim. Like I said, I keep her chest pretty furry and fuzzy, but her stomach looks nice and trimmed down, and it all flows together really well. Her tail's rounded, and her butt has a nice shape to it. Nothing is jagged or anything. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.